I'm Chris Wilson, and I want to talk to you today about my new book, Tragic to Magic, Beyond Suffering, with the Akashic Records. So I'm really excited that it's finished, that it's now available in my own country from me, and also through Amazon and Book Depository. The Akashic Records are an energetic record of every experience we have ever had as souls on earth. They're the perfect tool for these changing times and the time of turmoil that we're right in the midst of at the moment, when we're rapidly moving from the third dimension to the fourth, through the fourth dimension and into the fifth. The first book talked about my journey and why I was led to the Akashic Records. It was a family crisis that led me to the records. I was going through a dark night of the soul as a result of the suffering of my eldest daughter. And I knew that what was happening didn't really make sense on a human level, and I felt there was something much bigger happening. So the Akashic Records kept popping into my mind, and I found a way to access them, and they helped me hugely. They helped me relieve my own suffering. They helped me see a much bigger picture of the situation that was happening within my family. And the most important thing they gave me was just the beautiful, loving, soothing, uplifting, healing and positive energy of the records. This energy was what really healed me. I was in the Akashic Records a lot. I was in there at first, just open them for myself, and then I started working with other people, and I was in them a lot, and just they helped lift me out of the despair, out of the fear, out of the drama. And for that, I'll always be grateful. They were like a lifeline. So then I decided I wanted to give other people the same tools, and I have taught many people now how to access the Akashic Records. So the first book was really more about me and how the Akashic Records have helped me. The second book is much more about what's happening, on the planet in a larger way, the much bigger picture as we move from 3D to a new world of the fifth dimension. We cannot carry all the baggage of the third dimension with us. The Akashic Records has the memories and all the information about what's happened in every lifetime. So it's easy to go in there and pinpoint, where a fear started, where a belief started, where some programming started, and with intention to work with the beautiful quantum energy to release it. So that's a lot of the work I do, and it really, releasing those layers and old ancient imprints of pain is very, very helpful for people. And often what I do is I find now that we're going into the fifth dimension, everything's becoming much more multi-dimensional. So it's much easier now, and a lot of people are being affected by past life trauma, which is sort of showing up in physical pain, emotional pain. And often what I find with people is that they have a past life aspect that is just not at peace. So within the Akashic Records, I can get them to talk to that other soul aspect from the past and to bring them to a place of understanding, of peace and resolution. So the Akashic Records are wonderful for raising your vibration. Every time you're in them, your vibration lifts. They are an easy way to access the beautiful fifth dimensional quantum energy, which is coming into Earth and shaking up our planet. When we're in our open Akashic record, we're also activating our DNA. 98%, or just over 90% of our 98% of our DNA has been called junk, because in the lower energy of the third dimension it couldn't express itself. But now, as we're moving up into a higher vibration and higher consciousness, our DNA is opening up, and the 12 strands of quantum DNA are being activated and enabled. The Akashic Records helps with this, because every time we're in our open Akashic record, we're activating our DNA. And the DNA, what's in there, the 12 layers, the Akashic record is actually one layer. It's going to take us, humanity, into the next epoch, really, where we'll be able to move beyond suffering. We'll be, become beings that stop killing each other, stop hurting each other, beings of compassion, integrity, truth, love, and unity. We're moving to a place of unity consciousness. So we're moving out of the whole duality of the sort of dark and the light. We've all had many experiences of that, to a much, much, much better place. So the Akashic Records can give hope as well. You can go into your Akashic Records to connect with the gold in your soul timeline. So past life gifts, abilities, talents, experiences that are positive, because it hasn't all been negative, that can help us now. And that's one way you can use the Akashic Records. They're also like a very powerful energy for manifestation. You all know probably about the law of attraction. So we can go in there, and what we focus on within the Akashic Records is basically the reality we create. This is probably the most powerful and important attribute of quantum energy, is that the words, thoughts, feelings that we have and the intention create our reality much more powerfully than they did, in the old 3D world. So they're fantastic for manifesting what we focus on. We can easily create and bring into our lives. We can also time travel in the Akashic Records and go backwards in time to sort of heal and complete, from soul trauma or experiences that are still affecting us now. And we can also go forward in time and connect with, I don't know, I even take people sometimes through a meditation where they connect with fully future ascended aspects of themselves and bring in their wisdom and strength and knowledge to help them in the world now. So the world is getting increasingly multidimensional. That's the whole quantum nature. Time will not be linear for much longer. We're sort of halfway through the ascension 20 process, really, of moving into the fifth dimension. And the Akashic Records are just such a positive place to be, at this difficult time. At the very least, like, even if you just learn how to access them and open them to be in their energy, they're going to really, really help you. I have found the Akashic Records transformational and healing, and the thing I love probably most about them is they enable people to take responsibility for their own process. So it's not about being a victim and waiting for someone to fix you. There's huge potentials also, not just for emotional healing or the removal of blocks, but also physical healing in the Akashic Records. So as the DNA is more enabled, it's going to get much easier to heal our physical maladies. And the Akashic Records is sort of it's a quantum container for that type of healing as well. So not just emotional healing. Probably the last thing I want to say, and I think one of the things I love a lot about the Akashic Records, I'm really passionate about them, and I want the whole world to know about them. But probably the most important thing that's happening as we move from a third dimensional to a fifth dimensional planet is we are also making the transition from being human beings in physical bodies to the soul. And the Akashic Records, as soon as they're open, they connect us to our soul. They're a soul space. They connect us immediately to the beauty, the integrity, the truth and wisdom of our soul. And the more we are in the Akashic Records, the more we start to live a soul-centered and soul-driven life. And of course, the soul doesn't suffer. Human beings suffer. We've created it. But the soul doesn't. The soul is above that, and that's where we're all heading. And, the Akashic Records can really help us to reach that destination. So In this book, I include many stories. I'm very grateful to the lovely people who have allowed me to tell real stories about real people. I have changed some of the names, but they're all true stories. The book has got a glossary at the back with key terms explained. I've written it in a way that I think is really easy to read, and I think this book is for anyone, really. I've written it as a separate book from the other book, so you don't need to read the first one first. It is complete on its own. But I think, the key thing is it just brings everything together to help people understand what's happening on the planet at the moment, why it's happening, where we're heading. So if you want a positive, uplifting book that is full of hope and full of joy and interesting, like very interesting stories, I would recommend my book. It was a labour of love. At times, the writing process was a bit tragic, but mostly magical. And we all have to hold the space, whatever is happening at the moment, whatever is happening in our lives and whatever is happening on this planet and will happen in the next few years, for the magic to come in, because it certainly will. And so thank you for listening to this. And if you want a copy of my book, again, it's available through Amazon and Book Depository. And from me, if you live in New Zealand, I've been signing lots of copies. My website at the moment is www.akashicreadingsnz.com. And if you go on there and you can't find me, look at www.themagicoftheakashicrecords.com. Thank you so much.